Late evening sunlight cast long shadows across Jae-woo Park's minimalist home office. His fingers hovered over the smartphone screen, trembling slightly as he composed a message he had rehearsed 1,000 times in his mind. Outside, the Seoul skyline glimmered with the soft glow of technological promise, much like Jae-woo's own career as a renowned tech entrepreneur. Yoonji, he typed, then deleted. I miss our family. The words felt inadequate, carrying the weight of years of missed moments and unspoken regrets. A billionaire who had sacrificed everything for his work, Jae-woo now realized the true cost of his ambition. His thumb hovered over the send button. One wrong move, one misplaced tap, and everything could change. Little did he know how prophetic that thought would become. The message didn't go to Yoonji's number. Instead, it sailed through an unexpected quantum communication channel, riding invisible waves far beyond Earth's atmosphere. What should have been a simple text became an interstellar transmission, catching the attention of a distant civilization known as the Coral Collective. In their massive communication hub, intricate holographic displays flickered with the unexpected human message. Alien researchers, beings of pure logic and intellectual curiosity, found themselves captivated by the raw emotional complexity of Jae-woo's words. I want to be a father again. I want to hear Ji-hoon's music and see Min-ah's artwork. I was wrong to prioritize work over family. The message was unlike anything the Coral Collective had ever encountered. Human emotions, so unpredictable and intense, represented a complete mystery to their strictly rational society. Back on Earth, Jae-woo realized his mistake moments after pressing send. The message had disappeared into digital silence, not returning. The usual delivered confirmation. Something felt different, but he couldn't explain what. His children, Ji-hoon and Min-ah, had grown distant over the years. Ji-hoon, now a talented musician studying at a prestigious arts academy, barely spoke to his father. Min-ah, a creative middle school student with a passion for digital art, remembered her father more as a distant memory than a present figure. Yoonji, his ex-wife, had rebuilt her life as a successful corporate lawyer, maintaining a careful distance from Jae-woo. Their divorce had been clean but emotionally devastating, a mutual agreement that their professional ambitions had slowly eroded their family's foundation. The quantum communication channel hummed with activity. The Coral Collective's most advanced linguists and emotional analysts began decoding the transmission, fascinated by the layers of human complexity embedded in those few sentences. What they didn't know was that this single message would become a pivotal moment in interstellar relations. Jae-woo's desperate plea to reconnect with his family would inadvertently open a door between humanity and an advanced alien civilization. In the quiet of his home office, surrounded by awards and technological innovations that represented his professional success, Jae-woo Park felt something he hadn't experienced in years. Hope. A fragile, uncertain hope that maybe, just maybe, he could rebuild the relationships he had once carelessly discarded. The quantum communication hub continued, processing the message, its alien operators unaware that they were about to change the course of human history. A simple text sent with trembling fingers and a heart full of regret was about to become humanity's most unexpected diplomatic breakthrough. Outside, the Seoul night continued its silent vigil, witness to a moment that would soon connect a fractured family and two distant civilizations in ways no one could have predicted. Jae-woo leaned back in his chair, unaware that his personal message of reconciliation was traveling through the vast, cold expanses of space, carrying with it the potential to redefine human understanding of communication, emotion, and connection. One misplaced text, one moment of vulnerability, the beginning of an extraordinary journey. Would you like me to continue with the next part of the story? The communication hub of the Coral Collective buzzed with unprecedented excitement. Researchers gathered around holographic displays, their elongated blue-tinted fingers tracing the intricate patterns of Jae-woo's message. They had intercepted countless transmissions from various civilizations, but never one quite like this. Senior researcher Kara, a veteran of interstellar communication studies, carefully analyzed every pixel of the human message. Her team had spent decades studying emotional communication, But this single transmission challenged everything they thought they knew about intelligent life. It's not just information, she explained to her colleagues. It's a window into human emotional complexity. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Jae-woo Park remained completely unaware of the cosmic drama unfolding around his simple text message. He went about his daily routine, managing his tech company, attending meetings, and occasionally glancing at his phone, wondering why he hadn't heard back from his family. The Coral Collective decided to make contact. Their advanced communication technologies allowed them to trace the message's origin with remarkable precision. They developed a unique translation protocol specifically designed to capture the emotional nuance of human communication. Their first transmission arrived unexpectedly at Jae-woo's primary communication device. It wasn't an email or a text message, but a strange quantum signal that momentarily transformed his smartphone's screen into a swirling pattern of light and color. Most people would have dismissed it as a technical glitch, but Jae-woo, a tech entrepreneur with an insatiable curiosity, recognized something extraordinary was happening. The message was simple, yet profound. "We understand your emotional transmission. We wish to communicate." Jae-woo's hands trembled as he read the words. At first, he thought it was an elaborate marketing campaign or a sophisticated hacking attempt. But something about the message felt different, raw, genuine, almost alive. In the Coral Research Facility, thousands of light years away, researchers celebrated their first successful communication. They had been searching for a species that could demonstrate emotional intelligence beyond pure logical communication. Humanity, through Jae-woo's accidental text, had become that species. News of the potential alien contact spread quickly within scientific circles. Government agencies, research institutions, and tech companies began mobilizing. Everyone wanted to understand how a simple, personal message had become humanity's first genuine interstellar communication. Jae-woo found himself at the center of an unexpected storm. Military officials, scientific researchers, and media representatives began reaching out, each wanting to understand the details of his mysterious transmission. His children, Ji-hoon and Min-ah, heard about their father's unexpected fame through news reports. For the first time in years, they felt a strange mix of curiosity and confusion about the man they had almost forgotten. Yoon-ji, his ex-wife, watched the developments with a combination of skepticism and intrigue. She knew Jae-woo was brilliant, but this seemed beyond even his usual capabilities. The Coral Collective continued their careful study. They were particularly fascinated by the emotional layers in Jae-woo's message, the desire for family reconnection, the admission of past mistakes, the vulnerability hidden between the lines. Humans are not just communicators, researcher Kara told her team. They are emotional architects. Their language is a living, breathing entity that carries more than just words. As days passed, the quantum communication became more frequent. The Coral Collective shared fragments of their own cultural understanding, creating a bridge between two vastly different civilizations. Jae-woo realized he was no longer just a tech billionaire. He had become an unexpected ambassador, a bridge between humanity and an advanced alien civilization. The simple text message that was never meant to be sent had transformed into something extraordinary. It represented hope, connection, and the unexpected ways communication could reshape understanding. In the quiet of his home office, surrounded by technological marvels, Jae-woo Park smiled. He didn't know exactly what was happening, but he felt something profound was about to change, not just for him, but for all of humanity. Would you like me to continue with the next part of the story? The research facility hummed with electric anticipation. Jae-woo Park stood before a team of international scientists, his hands gesturing animatedly as he explained the quantum communication breakthrough. Government representatives and technology experts watched with a mixture of excitement and disbelief. The Coral Collective's communication protocol is unlike anything we've ever seen, Jae-woo explained. His voice carried a newfound passion that contrasted sharply with his previous corporate monotone. His daughter Min-ah, attending the presentation with her brother Ji-hoon, watched her father with a mix of curiosity and emerging respect. She had never seen him so animated, so alive with purpose. The emotional translation device, now nicknamed ETD, represented a quantum leap in communication technology. It could decode not just words, but the intricate emotional landscapes behind those words. Feelings, intentions, hidden meanings all became transparently readable. Tree searcher Kara from the Corral Collective appeared as a holographic projection, her blue-tinted form shimmering slightly. Humans communicate through emotion, she explained. Most species communicate through pure information. You communicate through feeling. Global tech companies scrambled to understand and replicate the technology. Governments recognized the potential for unprecedented diplomatic capabilities. A single device could potentially resolve complex international conflicts by allowing true emotional understanding. Jaewoo's technology company became the epicenter of this revolutionary development. Venture capitalists and international investors flooded his offices with funding proposals. But for the first time in his career, money wasn't his primary motivation. This isn't about profit, he told his board of directors. This is about understanding. The ETD's first real-world test came unexpectedly. During a tense diplomatic meeting between two countries with a history of conflict, representatives used the device. What would typically have been a heated, unproductive session transformed into a moment of genuine connection. Diplomats discovered layers of shared human experience beneath years of political tension. Fears, hopes, and unspoken traumas became visible, creating unprecedented empathy. Ji-hoon, observing the technological marvel, began to see his father differently. The distant, work-obsessed man he remembered was being replaced by someone passionate about human connection. Minna's digital art skills found a new purpose. She began creating visual representations of emotional translations, turning complex quantum data into beautiful, understandable imagery. The Coral Collective watched with growing fascination. Humanity had taken their initial communication concept and transformed it into something entirely unexpected. Where the aliens saw pure logic, humans introduced emotional complexity. Yoonji, initially skeptical, found herself drawn into the project. Her legal background proved crucial in navigating the ethical implications of such powerful communication technology. International scientific communities debated the device's potential. Could it be misused? Would it invade personal privacy? The ethical questions were as complex as the technology itself. Jaewoo worked tirelessly, often alongside his children. For the first time, they were seeing him not as a distant financial provider, but as a passionate innovator, genuinely interested in human connection. The ETD's breakthrough wasn't just technological. It represented a fundamental shift in how intelligent species could communicate. Emotions were no longer abstract. They became a measurable, translatable language. During a global presentation, Jaewoo demonstrated the device's capabilities. He connected a live quantum transmission with the Corral Collective, showing how emotional nuances could be instantly understood across vast cosmic distances. We're not just sharing words, he explained. We're sharing understanding. The scientific community watched in awe. A billionaire tech entrepreneur who had once prioritized work over family had accidentally created a technology that could potentially transform human communication forever. Minna looked at her father with newfound admiration. Ji-hoon, usually reserved, found himself feeling a sense of pride he hadn't experienced before. As the presentation concluded, Jaewoo realized his accidental text message had done more than reconnect him with his family. It had opened a door to a new understanding of human potential. The Quantum Communication Hub continued its silent, powerful work, a testament to an unexpected journey that began with a simple, heartfelt message. Would you like me to continue with the next part of the story? The family therapy session felt different from anything they had experienced before. Jaewoo sat across from Eunji, Ji-hoon, and Minna, the new emotional translation device gently humming between them. Dr. Kim, their therapist, watched carefully as the device began its work. What would normally be a tense, guarded conversation transformed into something raw and genuine. Jae-woo's first words came out trembling. "I was never the father you needed," he said, his emotions bleeding through the device's translation interface. The machine converted his internal feelings into clear, understandable language, showing not just his words, but the deep pain behind them. Minna saw something she had never witnessed before: her father's vulnerability. The device revealed layers of guilt, love, and regret that had been hidden for years. His professional success had always masked his deep emotional struggles. Ji-hoon, typically reserved, found himself unable to maintain his emotional barriers. The ETD translated his years of built-up frustration, the missed concerts, the absent father, the endless work calls that interrupted family moments. "I wanted you to be proud of me," Ji-hoon said, his voice cracking. The device amplified the emotion, showing how deeply he had craved his father's attention. Yoonji watched in stunned silence. The woman who had built her life around professional distance now saw the complete emotional landscape of her ex-husband. His workaholic behavior wasn't about rejection, it was about a deep-seated fear of inadequacy. The therapy session became more than just a conversation. It was a journey through years of unspoken emotions, hidden fears, and suppressed love. Minna's artwork, which had always been her way of expressing complex emotions, now found a new purpose. She began creating visual representations of their family's emotional journey, using the ETD's data as her inspiration. Global media caught wind of the story. A billionaire tech entrepreneur using breakthrough technology to reconnect with his family became an unexpected human interest narrative. Millions watched, fascinated by the raw emotional healing happening in real time. The Chorale Collective observed the session, fascinated by human emotional resilience. Where they saw complexity, humans found healing. Where logic might fail, emotional understanding succeeded. Jae-woo's company began developing therapy protocols using the emotional translation device. Mental health professionals saw unprecedented potential in understanding deep emotional landscapes. Ji-hoon, a talented musician, started composing a piece inspired by their family's journey. His music became a bridge, translating their emotional reconstruction into something beautiful and universal. Minna's digital art exhibitions began featuring their family's emotional journey. She transformed their pain, reconciliation, and hope into visual narratives that touched people worldwide. Yoonji, initially skeptical, became an advocate for emotional transparency. Her legal background found a new purpose in exploring the ethical implications of emotional communication technologies. The family began spending more time together. Weekend dinners, shared projects, collaborative art. Their reconnection became more than just healing. It became a celebration of understanding. Global conferences invited Jae-woo to speak about technological and emotional breakthroughs. But his most significant achievement wasn't a technological marvel, it was rebuilding his family. Dr. Kim noted something extraordinary. The emotional translation device wasn't just a communication tool. It was a healing mechanism that allowed genuine, unfiltered emotional expression. Local and international media followed their journey. A family torn apart by professional ambition was now a symbol of hope and reconnection. The Chorale Collective continued studying their process, fascinated by human capacity for emotional growth and reconciliation. As weeks passed, the Park family transformed. They weren't just reconnecting, they were understanding each other in ways they never thought possible. Jae-woo realized his accidental text message had done more than create an international technological breakthrough. It had given him a second chance at being a father, a husband, a human being capable of genuine connection. Their story became more than a personal journey. It represented humanity's potential to heal, to understand, to reconnect. The emotional translation device continued its silent, powerful work, a bridge between technology, emotion, and human potential. Would you like me to continue with the final part of the story? The United Nations Assembly Hall buzzed with unprecedented excitement. Representatives from every corner of the globe sat alongside holographic projections of the Chorale Collective, waiting for Jae-woo Park's presentation. Behind him stood his family, Yoonji, Jihoon, and Min-ah, symbols of humanity's potential for emotional reconnection. The emotional translation device hummed softly, a technological marvel that had transformed human understanding. Humanity's strength isn't in our technology, Jae-woo began, his voice calm and confident. It's in our ability to feel, to heal, to understand. The alien representatives leaned forward, fascinated. The Chorale Collective had studied countless civilizations, but none quite like humans. Where other species communicated through pure logic, humans communicated through emotion. Researcher Kara, now a familiar holographic presence, spoke. Humans demonstrate a unique emotional intelligence that transcends traditional communication methods, she explained. Her translation device captured the nuanced admiration in her alien language. Global media watched the proceedings live. What had started as an accidental text message had transformed into humanity's most significant diplomatic breakthrough. Jihoon's music played softly in the background, a composition that captured their family's journey of reconnection. Min-ah's digital art projected behind her father, visualizing the emotional landscapes that the translation device had revealed. The Chorale Collective presented their findings. Humans were invited to join a galactic communication network unlike any previously known. Not as a technological civilization, but as an emotional intelligence civilization. Diplomatic representatives from various countries realized the profound implications. The emotional translation device could potentially resolve conflicts, bridge cultural divides, and create unprecedented global understanding. Yoonji, standing beside her ex-husband, saw the full circle of their journey. A family torn apart by professional ambition had become a symbol of human potential for healing and connection. The alien representatives shared their own stories of observation. They had watched Jae-woo's initial message, tracked the family's healing, and studied the technological breakthrough that followed. Your species doesn't just communicate, researcher Kara explained. You connect. Scientists and diplomats began understanding the true value of the breakthrough. It wasn't just a communication technology, it was a pathway to deeper human understanding. Min-ah's digital representations showed the emotional journeys of different human stories. Each visualization told a tale of pain, healing, and reconnection that transcended cultural boundaries. Jihoon's music played, a soundtrack to humanity's emotional complexity. The melody captured the nuanced emotions that words alone could never express. The Chorale Collective proposed a radical concept. Humanity would be recognized not for its technological achievements, but for its emotional intelligence. They would become ambassadors of emotional understanding across the galaxy. Jae-woo realized the true impact of his accidental text message. What seemed like a personal moment of vulnerability had opened doors to cosmic understanding. Global leaders began discussing the potential applications: conflict resolution, diplomatic negotiations, mental health treatments. The possibilities seemed endless. The Park family became unexpected global ambassadors. Their personal journey of healing represented humanity's broader potential for growth and understanding. Researcher Kara made a historic announcement. The Chorale Collective was inviting humanity into a galactic communication network based on emotional intelligence. Not as conquerors or technological experts, but as emotional beings, capable of profound connection. The United Nations Assembly erupted in applause. Diplomats, scientists, and representatives recognized this as a turning point in human history. Jae-woo looked at his family. Yoonji, who had once been distant, now stood proudly beside him. Jihoon and Min-ah represented a new generation of humans who understood the power of emotional connection. The emotional translation device continued its silent, powerful work. A testament to a journey that began with a simple, heartfelt message. Humanity had been recognized not for its weapons or technology, but for its capacity to feel, to heal, to understand. One misplaced text message had changed everything. Would you like me to elaborate on any part of the story?